Okay, friends, let's get started. I have a full bag of Sephora makeup. I went shopping with Nikki a couple days ago, and this was the bulk of what I bought during the Sephora Savings Event. I did get a couple of other products that we'll be using, but we're gonna kind of just like play with these and experience them in real time. Okay, guys, let's open this bag. Let's go through this bag real quick because I honestly forgot some of the things that are in here. I have the Sarah Creel blush. I bought this because you guys asked me to. I have a, what do I have? A Kajal eyeliner from Charlotte Tilbury in the shade Smoky Bronze. We've got that. We've got Charlotte Tilbury Pink Gasm. Nikki convinced me to buy that. What else do I have here? Oh, this is the matte. This is the Dior Forever matte. I put it back in the box. I don't know why. I have this Danessa Myricks palette. We're going to play with this one today. This is really beautiful. I'm excited about that. I also got this new Tarte bronzer. We might use this for bronzer. It's the one where it's like a powder and a cream on one side. I got the Lawless powder because I love that Lawless foundation. I thought I'd give this a try. I got the Laura Mercier Secret Brightening Powder in Rose, or the pink one, the soft pink. This was a Nikki LaRose purchase. She made me buy it. I bought the new Duo bronzer from Westman Atelier. I bought it originally, you might have seen it in some content already, and I bought the second to lightest shade, which works, but I wanted the lighter shade because I feel like this might be a better option for me. I bought this mask. Nikki and I bought it because we were planning to like do a mask together the night she spent the night at my house, but we didn't end up doing that. I bought this Makeup by Mario lip pencil in the shade Tan. This was another Nikki LaRose influence. This was also a Nikki LaRose influence. This is the Paula Choice Youth Extending Hydrate. It's basically a moisturizer with SPF 50, and I've used this in the past and I remember loving it. So you know I love my Elastin. I love the tint that that gives and the coverage, but I love that this is a moisturizer too, and I love that it's SPF 50 and it's quite a bit less than the Elastin, so I thought I'd pick that up and give that a try. I got this tinted lip gloss from Refi, this tinted lip balm. I got a Tower 28 mascara. This is actually for Kate. I promised her that, so I'm gonna give her that. And then I got a Eyes to Mesmerize by Charlotte Tilbury. This is like a cream shadow. I love these. And then I also bought this lip balm, which we're gonna put some of this on now. This is from Tatcha, and this is the Kissu Lip Treatment. I bought it because I liked the applicator, and the tester that I tried in store, I really liked. I've used this a couple nights, and I don't love I wouldn't recommend it. It's not as rich and like thick for a lip balm. It's a little thin, and I don't know. I just don't really think it's anything special, so I do know I don't really love that. For foundation though, I'm gonna go in with the new Dior Forever Skin Glow. I did buy this technically during the sale and I'm loving it. I have the shade 3N, which is the first shade that I bought. Maybe I bought this before the sale, but then I bought my correct shade, which is 2.5. So 2.5 neutral is my shade. I loved it so much when I tried it that I went back and bought it in my correct shade. And then I also bought it in the matte version, and I really like that one too. In terms of like which one I would recommend getting, it really depends on your skin type and also what you like your foundation to look like. So I've been wearing the glow more than the matte. I wore the matte last week when I was traveling because I knew I wanted my makeup to stay matte and shine free all day. And let me tell you guys, I put it on in the morning. I flew to Palm Springs, so it was like 2 flights. It's not a direct flight. So I was literally traveling for like 9 hours. We landed, we had a dinner right after. I had no time to really change or freshen up my makeup, and my makeup looked so fresh. You would have never guessed that I was traveling all day. And it was with the Dior Forever matte. So that one's a really great one. If you like a matte finish and you want longevity, it is good. And I didn't feel like it looked heavy or matte at all. And in fact, I wore that while I was in Palm Springs, and it was very dry there, and it still didn't feel like it was too dry or matte. But overall, they're both fantastic. I don't think you can go wrong with either. If you want more of like a satin kind of skin-like finish, I would go with the Dior Glow. And if you want, you know, obviously more matte, then go with the matte. By the way, you guys, our Mother's Day sale just kicked off. So it is one of our biggest sales throughout the year. Site-wide, everything on the site is either 20 up to 35% off. And when you spend $150 or more, you get a free A506 concealer brush. So really great time to stock up on any BK Beauty brushes that you want backups of, or that you have been, you know, eyeing on your wish list, or of course, obviously a gift for mom. It's always a great gift for mom. But 20 to 35% off site-wide plus a free A506 when you spend $150 or more. Oh my gosh, this is so pretty. And it really depends on your skin prep too. Like if you use a lot of skin prep glowy serums, it's gonna look more glowy. Today I just put a little moisturizer on. I didn't layer a bunch of skincare and it's looking a little bit more natural. And honestly, quite honestly, it's looking a little bit more matte because my skin is drier. So it definitely will depend on your skin that day and then what products you pair underneath it. I just did one full pump and I'm getting just as much coverage as I need. You can definitely build it. There are days where I've worn this and I've worn maybe 2 full pumps and it feels like a lot, but once I blend it out, it looks great. It looks natural. It doesn't look heavy. So highly recommend this. It's really beautiful. I think I've worn this enough to honestly say and give a very thorough review that I love it. It's great. We do have our foundation. Let's put our concealer on. I'm going to use the Tower 28 concealer because that's just what I have in my little travel bag. This was the makeup that I took with me to Palm Springs. So I've kind of kept it all together just to have, you know, makeup to go to that's easy. And do a little bit of this in the inner corner, a little bit of this in the outer corner, and then we will blend this out. And I'm going to use the A506. Again, you can get one of these for free when you spend $150 or more on bkbeauty.com right now. So our Mother's Day sale goes, I will have the dates and everything in the description box below. Just tap, tap, tap. This brush is so good to blend out concealer. You literally just tap it and it's going to build the coverage that you want and also blend out. This concealer is good. If you haven't tried the Tower 28, I highly recommend that one. It's a serum concealer, so it's nice and lightweight. It's very hydrating, gives really great coverage. It's great for sensitive skin, sensitive eyes. It's just all around fantastic. I would recommend it for dry skin. I would recommend it for mature skin. It's really nice. Perfect. Okay, let's go ahead and I was gonna say let's powder, but let's actually wait. I wanna go in and bronze the skin, and I'm so conflicted here because I have the Westman Atelier, the Duo Bronzer. I'll show you. I don't think I'm gonna use this one just because I used the other one in a video already, and I have this Tarte one, but now I'm even thinking, you guys, I got the Hung Van Gogh new bronzers in a PR and I want to try these. So I think we're going to do that. But I do want to show you this Westman Atelier in case you've had your eye on this and you're considering like shades. Let me show you the 2 shades that I have because I have this lighter one and then I have the second to light one, just one shade up so you can really compare and see the 2. So this is what they look like. Obviously this is dark. No, this is darker. This is the lighter one. Let me go ahead and swatch them too on my fingers so you can see. So I'll just do this. This is the second to lightest one here. This is the one that I've already used, and then this is the lightest one. So let's see if this gives you guys a little bit of a, let's see, does that give you a little bit of reference? So lighter and the next shade up. The lighter is definitely more cool tone leaning, a little more neutral, while the darker is a little more warm. It's kind of a big jump, I would say, between the 2. Let me swatch these on my hand too. Okay, so that kind of shows you too. So we've got the darker and the lighter here. Hopefully that'll help you guys if you're considering purchasing these. I think both of these work for me. I tried them both on. Obviously I wore the darker one and that worked for me. I tried the lighter one on in store. I haven't yet put it on my skin yet, and I think it's gonna work. We will see. I hope it works because it was $75, which is, you know, a pretty penny. Let's go ahead and wipe this off so I don't get it all over my white sweatshirt. Let me show you this Tarte bronzer. Maybe we'll play with both. I'm really tempted to play with both because I definitely want to try the Hung Van Gogh. First of all, look at this sweet pouch. I do not know him. I've never met him, but we've communicated a little bit on Instagram and he just seems like the kindest human being ever. Like, I hope one day I get to meet him. I'm putting that out there in the universe that one day maybe I can meet him at an event. Maybe I'll get invited to one of his events. Maybe I can get into my makeup. How cool would that be? Because he just seems so fantastic and so wonderful. Okay, so he sent me 2 shades. I have the Intentional and then I have Ambitious. I think I'm gonna try Intentional. Just by looking at the swatch, it looks like it might be a safer bet for me. I've heard these are amazing and I am expecting them to be because all the products I've tried from his line are so good. So it's a cream bronzer. It's actually called a balm, a contour balm. This is what the shade Intentional looks like. This looks like a really good match. Let's go ahead and open this other one though and just take a peek at the color because I think this one is gonna be great for me. It does not look like it's gonna be too light, but since I have this other one, let me pull it out and show you in case you are trying to decide. I like the packaging too. Okay, yeah, so this definitely leans a little, I think this one's gonna be too dark for me. And then this one is gonna, oh, they're so creamy, you guys. They feel so creamy. Like I feel like the word balm is an accurate description of what you would expect this product to feel like. Just by touching it with my finger, I think I'm gonna love it. I imagine that it's gonna be so easy to blend out. But before we get there, let me also show you, it's like bronzer season right now. Let me show you this Tarte one that I picked up, because this I was kind of impressed with too at the store. So this is one of those little macaroon ones that they launched. I got a couple of these blushes and I loved them. Same concept with the bronzer. So you get a cream bronzer on one side and then you get a powder on the other. I got the shade, Instant Vacay, is that the shade? Creme Brulee. Creme Brulee, that's the shade that I got. I think it might be the lightest one. And it looks really beautiful. I can't wait to play with this, but we're not gonna play with this today. No, I told you I would. I told you I'd do one side on one side. I'm sorry, I'm all over the place today, you guys. Let me toss this trash so I can control the mess in my beauty room here. And then let's go in and let's go with the Hung Van Go on one side. And I'm going to use, what am I gonna use to apply this? I'm gonna actually use the, I have a 109. I'm gonna use the 109. And I'm just gonna go right into here. And I am gonna kind of blot it on the back of my hand because it does feel like I'd pick up a lot of product with this just with how creamy it is. Oh, wow. Okay, very creamy. Picks up good pigment. It moves really nicely. Moves really nicely, spreads really easily, very easy to blend out. That's beautiful, and that color is really perfect. It's a very soft, kind of golden, sun-kissed glow on the skin. That is really, really nice. Okay, I'm gonna go and do a little bit on the side of the nose, just to add a little bit of warmth there. Okay, yeah, you do pick up quite a bit of color, so just keep that in mind. Definitely recommend just a light little tap or maybe blotting it on the back of your hand just to remove any excess. But I'm finding it really easy to blend out and move, so it's an easy product to work with. Oh my gosh, that is so pretty. Really beautiful. There's a really gorgeous glow that you're getting from it because of the texture of the product. That is really nice. I love that. Okay, let's go in and try the, let's go in and try this Tarte one next. Kind of wipe it off, wipe my 109 off, and then we're just gonna go right in here. This color definitely looks really warm, like a tad more peachy. Just kind of blot it on my hand. Okay, this is definitely lighter than the Hung Van Go. Okay, this might be a little too light for me. I mean, I'm gonna see the color, but I think I'm gonna have to layer it. Okay, the texture of this is nice and creamy as well. It also is blending nicely. Let me touch it. Ooh, okay. So by the touch of it, look at that. Do you see how like wet that is? It's definitely wetter and creamier and thinner. The Hung Van Go truly feels like a cream balm, where this feels more like a sheer cream. But I would say they're both very creamy and easy to blend. This shade's a little too light. I should have gone with the darker shade. It works, but I prefer a darker bronzer. This almost looks like a very light blush in my opinion to me. Okay. Okay. They're both creamy, they're both blendable, but I do prefer the Hung Van Go. The Hung Van Go just deposits more, and I feel like with this being as wet and as thin as it is, I have questions about longevity. Obviously, I don't know yet, but I just feel like it's not going to last quite as well as something that has a little bit more thickness to it, you know? Okay, all right, that's my quick opinion on those. Let's go ahead and move on. I'm gonna do my brows because I feel like I need my brows. Let me do those real quick. I'm just going to end with my trusty old Benefit brow pencil. We're just gonna create some shape, use my brow wax, and then we'll get back on to the makeup. So I'm curious, did you guys do a lot of damage during the Sephora sale? I wasn't planning on it. In fact, before Nikki came in town, I kind of just got my staples, you know, my mascara, the products that, you know, I love and always restock. But then Nikki came in town and we took a trip over to Sephora, and I think I spent around like $400, $450 like after the discount was applied. But I did get some things that I'm really excited to try, so That's one way to justify it. Also, I feel like I'm making this video and this is work. And so it's a work expense, right? Okay, perfect. Just a little bit of shape. Perfect. Okay, now let's go add a little bit of brow wax to hold them in place and give it a tiny bit more volume. Perfect. Okay. All right, now let's go in and set everything with powder. I'm looking at myself and I'm like, one color here, much lighter color here. I kind of feel like I need to even myself out. Let's actually do that. At least I was able to test the bronzer. I have an opinion. I like the Hung Van Gogh better. If you're looking for a cream bronzer, I would go with that one. Of course, the Tarte has the powder element to it, which is unique and interesting. We'll use the powder at the end. But in terms of the cream formula, I like the Hung Van Gogh better. Okay, now let's go in and set underneath the eyes. I'm gonna go in with the Laura Mercier Secret Brightening Powder. I love this formula. I haven't tried the pink though. I've always just used the translucent. I have used this for, gosh, since the start of my YouTube channel probably. I've used this forever. This is like the OG of loose setting powders. I love the original. It just kind of slightly brightens the eye without being heavy or just kind of overpowering underneath the eye. I think it's very mature skin friendly. I'm gonna go in with the BK Beauty 108 brush. And, ooh, I got a little too much. And when I say a little too much, I mean a lot too much. Let me deposit that back in here. So I'm gonna load the brush up. Then we're gonna kind of tap off the excess here. And I'm gonna start like right here just to kind of get some of this off. And then we'll go and work our way underneath the eye. I always like to start with my brush below the under eye area to get some of that product off, just so I don't overpower underneath the eyes with powder. Ooh, this is beautiful. It really is. It is softly setting. It's softly blurring the skin, softly brightening the skin, but not heavy at all. Really pretty. I think there are some brands that are just really catered towards skin over 40. And I would put Laura Mercier in that category. I would put Bobbi Brown in that category. I would put Jane Iredale in that category. Obviously, there are the brands that really speak and market to that, like the Sarah Creels of the world and the Laura Gellers. But I really feel like Laura Mercier fits that bucket too. Perfect. Okay. I love that. Okay, we need some color on the cheeks. So why don't we open this? I'm so excited. This is a Sarah Creel. These are new blushes. They're called the Comin' in Hot Blurring Pressed Mousse Blush. And I bought the shade Love Fool. So let's give this a try. Ooh, I love their packaging. Their packaging is so beautiful. Here's another one. This is their bronzer. And then this is their blush. So the same component, just different color. It's this really beautiful, like magnetic. Oh, so nice. Sarah Creel is definitely a high-end luxury experience and price point. But you pay a lot, but I feel like you really get the experience that you should expect when you're paying what you're paying for this. It also has a little mirror inside here, which is nice. Let's take off this little sticker. And this looks like a beautiful color. So let's touch this and see. Okay, so this is like a creamy kind of mousse formula. It feels really soft. It feels really thin and lightweight. Let's swatch this. Ooh. Okay, this is really cool, you guys. You would think this is a cream formula, but when I swatch this on the hand, it feels like powder. Like it legit feels like powder. Let's read about this. Blurring Pressed Mousse Blush. Okay. A modern, long-wearing plush formula that melts into the skin for a lit-from-within flush of color. Collagen and elasticity supporting peptides, vitamin E, and specially coated pigments to help to smooth skin and create a soft focus finish. Okay, so it actually has no mention of it turning into a powder, but I will tell you it feels like a powder on the skin. But lots of really incredible ingredients in here. The peptides, the vitamin E, lightweight. Yes, this feels like we are going to love this. Let's go ahead and I'm actually gonna apply this with the 109. So let me remove some of that bronzer off of here. So we have a really great kind of clean brush here. And I'm just gonna tap, tap, tap. Okay, I do feel like I have to put a little bit of pressure to pick it up, which is nice because I don't like blushes that are too pigmented, because they can be hard to fix, or easy to mess up, I should say. Okay, this is a lot. This is pretty sheer, which is nice. Let me go in and add a little more coverage, or a little more pressure, I should say. Okay. Okay, what's happening here? Let me see. Okay, this is too much, but let me see if I can blend this out. Okay, I'm feeling like I'm having a hard time blending this out, but is it the blush, or is it just the combination? Am I moving the bronzer too? What have I done here? What have we done? This is not good. Let's go ahead and try and fix this. I'm gonna take my foundation brush, and we're gonna try on the other side, but we're gonna go with a different brush, okay? Okay, we are looking better there, but I don't know about this. Let's try this again. Let's get a clean brush. What are we looking for? Let me find, what do I want? Hold on, friends, hold on. Okay, we've got the 112. This is a clean 112. Let's try the 112. So let's swirl it in here. Okay. Let's go to the cheek. Let's see. Okay, pretty, sheer. I like it. Nice lit from within, glow, flush. But there's like this little chunk. Can you zoom in right here? Can we zoom in and see? Now it's kind of tricky because I have these two moles here. So I'm not talking about these two moles. I'm talking about what's between. Do you see this little like speck of pigment right there? Do you see that? It's like a little speck of pigment. That's what happened over here too. And I thought it might just be the bronzer underneath clumping together, but it's obviously not. Yeah, because look, I see a little bit more of them. Do you see? Can we zoom in close here? Do you see these little tiny dots? These almost look like little color pigments or powder pigments that I can't blend out. Okay. I don't know, friends. I need to test this more. I cannot give you an opinion right now. I hate to say anything negative about it right now, but I'm definitely noticing these little tiny pigment spots that it's just not a super smooth, seamless blend. But when I touch it, it feels so nice and so beautiful. Like it really feels so nice and beautiful. Like, and this looks beautiful, but when I apply it, I just don't know. And actually, look at this. Okay, I want you to look really, really close. You can almost see little chunks of product. Hold on, let me see if I can get a good, you can almost see little tiny pieces of product that are clumping together. That's what's ending up on my skin. I don't know, give me more time with this. Give me more time with this. I'm not saying anything negative about it, you guys. I might end up loving this blush in 2 weeks. I might. Give me more time with it. But that is something I did notice, okay? All right, let's move on to what should we play with next? Oh, you know what? I want to try the Lawless powder. I already applied the Laura Mercier, but let's go ahead and apply the Lawless and see if we have any thoughts on this. I love the foundation. I have it right here. I actually also took it with me to Palm Springs. I hope that I love this. Let's try it. So this is a perfecting powder that truly does it all. It's talc-free, provides serious smoothness, polish to skin, and a medium buildable coverage. So it has a soft matte finish. It's supposed to blur the skin, and it has pigment to it. So if you're looking for a powder that'll give a little bit of color, this might be it. This is definitely gonna be more pigmented than say like a loose powder would be. Ooh, this is nice. This is really pretty. Okay, so I can definitely see that this is blurring skin as well and adding color to it. Okay. I feel like I need to try this though when I haven't already applied powder. But my first impressions are that I think I like this. Let's come back to it after I can use that powder alone, and then I will give you my thoughts. Okay, let's move on to this palette. Wait till you guys see this palette. Nikki told me it's a beautiful palette, but she's like, I just don't feel like you're gonna wear it a lot. And she's probably right, because lately my eye looks have just been so simple and basic. I usually just wear like a cream shadow. Gosh, not having nails, I can't open this. I'm also like nervous because my real nails are so fragile right now and so thin that I just don't want to tear them or, okay, I'm just going to rip this box apart. I liked the color layout of this palette though. I had to get it. There was one shade in here that I thought was so unique. I feel like I don't see it a lot. Ooh, look at how this is packaged. Good job, Danessa. I appreciate the care that went into packaging this. Look at how protected this is. And look, it has a little bag, like a little maybe faux leather bag. All right, let's open her up. This is a nice experience. Now that we are working on new products at BK Beauty in new categories, I really appreciate the presentation of makeup. I mean, I've always appreciated it as a consumer and as a really makeup enthusiast. I've always appreciated the experience that a makeup product gets when you buy it. But now I really appreciate the brands that just put in so much attention to packaging. And look at this. This is neat. It's like a little magnet. Ooh. Wow, they really protected this. So these are the shades that you get. This is the shade that I just thought was so beautiful and so unique. This obviously is really beautiful too. So we're gonna play with this. I'm gonna put a tiny bit of the Makeup by Mario cream shadow in the shade Rich Mauve really quickly, just to give myself a little bit of a base for these shadows. I'm gonna keep it very light and sheer though. Perfect. Okay, now let's go into this palette. So you have 6 shades, you have 4 matte shades, and then you have this kind of foiled. Ooh, wow. Oh, wow. I don't really wear colors like this or textures like this, but look at this. This is like metal. This looks like liquid metal, does it not? And then you have this shade here, which is a different texture, but similar kind of finish, just very metallic. That's beautiful. All right, so let's go in. I'm gonna go in first and I'm just gonna take these 2 shades and mix them and kind of blend them all over the lid. Let's just start with these 2. We're just gonna mix these 2 together. Oh, I can already tell this is gonna be a beautiful formula. And I'm just gonna kind of sweep this all over the lid, work it into the crease. Okay, these are nice. I'm gonna go in with the darker, kind of more plummy shade. Yeah, these are nice, very pretty matte, very consistent, not patchy, easy to blend out, not fall out really, and they're not too dusty, a little kickback, but not too bad. That's pretty. Okay, next I'm gonna go in with this shade right here. This is the shade that really drew my attention. I feel like this is such a unique, beautiful shade. I do want a smaller brush though, so I'm gonna go in, what am I gonna use? I'm gonna use the 211. I'm gonna use the 211, we're gonna take a little bit of this, and I'm just gonna kind of focus this color right in the outer, ooh. Okay, this color might have been worth the entire palette. I mean, the palette's beautiful itself, but I would have, yeah, this color is beautiful. It is this really rich, warm, kind of saddle brown. It is so beautiful. If you have green or blue eyes, this color is just perfection. So I'm gonna kind of load this up in the outer corner. And if you use a small brush like this, it's gonna have a little bit of a richer payoff than if you were to use something like the A503, which is the first brush that I used. But I'm using this brush now to kind of blend it out because it is really concentrated. The pigment is very concentrated in these shadows. That's beautiful. This would be a beautiful eyeliner, you guys. Really pretty. Okay, really pretty eyeliner. I'm gonna use this as eyeliner actually on the lower lash line. Okay, this eye is a little darker than I would normally do, but we're just playing and experimenting, so it's okay. Very pretty, very, very pretty. These shadows are really concentrated, so I'm having a little bit of a hard time blending this shade out, but again, it's just very concentrated. So I think I just picked up too much with a small brush, but I still think it looks great. Okay, what I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna take my in 12 and I'm going to that same warm peanut butter kind of saddle brown shade, and we're going to put this on our lower lash line. Look at how pretty that is. Are you serious? Look at how beautiful this is. It's so pretty. So I'm just gonna kind of work that in. Go to the other side. So good. Okay, next what I'm gonna do is I'm going to take a 204 and I'm gonna go in with this shade right here, and we're gonna kind of lighten that lower lash line up a bit and kind of diffuse it and shear it out a tiny bit. Okay, these colors are very concentrated. That did not diffuse it out. We're gonna take a 205 and I'm just gonna soften these. There we go. These are pretty. If you like really richly pigmented matte shadows, I think you will love these. If you love the color selection, but isn't that pretty? Okay, let's go ahead and do a little bit of intensity at the lash line. I'm going to go in, and I'm actually going to go in with this black. We're going to use the 204, and we're just going to kind of push this and work this into the lash line at the upper lashes. Just pressing. Okay, do you see how that just paid off like eyeliner? Are you kidding me? Wow, that literally gives you the look of a pencil eyeliner, and I'm just tapping it with this brush. That is insane, you guys. These are so, wow, these are so rich. Okay, we're kind of just playing with these. I don't know if I'm liking the way that I'm like the whole look that's coming together. I think I am. It's just so different than I normally do. I'm going to take the 211 and we're just going to kind of soften that liner. You know how I feel about black liner. I don't really love black eyeliner, so I'm going to soften it a bit. But these shadows are very rich. The fact that I could just create that look of eyeliner with that shadow and with that brush so easily, that gives you a very clear picture on the just the depth of these shadows and how pigmented they are. Okay, let's take our 208 or 108, I'm sorry, and we're gonna just run under our lash line to remove any fallout. Okay, so let's go ahead and pop on some mascara. I'm gonna use the Bobbi Brown Smoky Eye Mascara. I did get one of these at the sale. Okay, I actually really love this combo. It's like this mauve-y kind of warm eye. There are some patches that I need to blend out. So I will say with these shadows, you guys, they're so pigmented. You really need to be very light-handed. I went in, I made the mistake of going in kind of heavy-handed with a smaller, more dense brush. So I just picked up a lot and laid down a lot. And you really don't need to do that with these. Oh, this is beautiful. Yeah, these are really special shadows. They're really, really beautiful. Okay, you guys, let's move on to lips. Let me put my little palette here back together. That's just this little magnet. Boom, you just pop that on. So nice. And let's do lips. So I'm going to play with a new lip liner that I got from Makeup by Mario. This is the color Tan. Nikki used this on me. Perfect. So this color is beautiful. It's a very peachy, browny neutral. Not much pink to it at all. It's definitely more of a peachy, spicy kind of brown shade. For lips, do we have anything new for lips? I don't think I really have anything new for lips. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to use, this is one of my newer lipsticks that I bought. It's the MAC lipstick in Honey Love. This is a matte, kind of pale peachy nude. This combo is good together. This liner and this lipstick. It's giving me very like 90s lips. I definitely want to put a gloss to kind of tie it together. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go in with the Hung Van Gogh, the Glossy Lip Hue. This is the shade, I think this is the first sketch. I'm going to take a little bit of this and then just spread this on the lips. This gives it a little shine, a little bit of a pink tint to it. Okay, friends, what do we think? I think the under eye is a little too dark, but we were just experimenting. Okay, let me kind of recap and talk about what our thoughts are on the products that we applied today. So some things that stood out to me: the Laura Mercier Secret Brightening Powder in pink, really, really lovely. Blurred, it felt lightweight, subtly blurred, but also subtly brightened. Not too much of either, so it looked more natural. The Hung Van Gogh Cream Balm Bronzer, so nice. Really, really love this. The Sarah Creel Blush, I'm going to come back to you on. I don't really know whether I have an opinion of it yet. I think at swatching it on my hand and touching it, it feels amazing. It feels lightweight. It feels like this kind of cream to powder formula. Applying it to the skin, we kind of saw what happened. I felt these little, like I saw these little pigment spots on the skin that I had a hard time blending out, but now it looks beautiful. So let me get back to you on this. I forgot to use the Charlotte Tilbury Eyes to Mesmerize, but I love this formula. I know I love this formula. I haven't played with the Rose Gold, but I think it's called Oyster Pearl, I love. It's a really beautiful kind of silvery pewter kind of shade. That one's nice. The Danessa Myricks palette. Okay. I like this. Let me just give you a little warning, and I need to play with this more. The pigment is very rich, very concentrated. This is a very rich and concentrated matte formula. It's beautiful. The colors are beautiful, high quality. You just need to use it with the right brushes. So I went in first with a smaller brush, which is gonna pack on more color than a larger, fluffier brush. And I struggled a little bit blending it out, but I think really that was my fault again. And I also think that I didn't properly prime my eyes. I used that Makeup by Mario, but I used just a little bit at the base of the lid and I didn't spread it and sheer it out. And the areas that I had a hard time blending this were the areas that this wouldn't have really, it would have had a hard end to it. So with a primer like this, or when you use a product as a primer like this, if you don't shear it out and spread it evenly, when it dries, you will have your shadow stick to the areas that it has kind of dried, right? And I think that's what happened here. But I stand by this. I think this is beautiful and I love it. And if you are an eyeshadow wearer and you love playing with shadows and palettes, I think you will love this because it's fantastic. What else did we use today? I'm gonna get back to you on the Tarte. The cream formula was just a little too sheer and a little too wet looking. Let's actually apply a little bit of the powder right now and let's see what we think. I'm gonna use the N15. We're just gonna go right in here. I think the powder looks really promising. It's very like light and just looks kind of soft and buttery. It's gonna be a little difficult to tell with all the makeup I have on now. Yeah, it's kind of hard to tell, but I do think the powder is really nice. Like I like the powder formula over the cream. I like the shade. It's nice and light and sheer. Yeah, I think we like the powder, but not really a huge fan of the cream. Okay, friends, that wraps up this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I will have everything tagged in YouTube Shopping. It'll also be listed and linked in the description box below. Don't forget to check out BK Beauty's Mother's Day sale. It's happening now, 20 to 35% off site-wide. And when you spend $150 or more, you get a free A506. That's like a $24 value. So all those details will be down in the description box as well. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.